correct?
Uh, we uh, we uh, we got occupied with the promise of capitalism to the point where we set role models for you. So it is. I think it is absolutely my generation actually. So I think the turning point for all of us in tech was when Bill Gates became the richest man in the world, and all of us looked at that and said, "He's smart, but I'm smart too." Okay, and I can build stuff, and we ran. Okay, and in that process, I think that that hunger, that race for more, is the main result, is the main reason for the world we live in today. Okay, the world we live in today has advanced massively because of that. You cannot deny the incredible contributions of science and computer science and technology and industrial efficiencies and so on. You can't. Mm? But but that, I call it systemic bias. Okay, the easiest way to understand it is, I told you I love cars. You can take an engine and tune it a little and get 100 horsepower more, and then add a turbo and get another 100 horsepower, and then another turbo, and supercharge it, and use nitro instead of fuel, and so on until it melts. Okay, and I think what is happening is that we're creating this constant turning of the economic cycles at a speed that is focused on enriching a few of us, that it is about to break, it's about to melt. Okay, and AI can be our salvation, because basically it means it doesn't have to melt. Okay, we can reduce the cost of everything, and so accordingly the debt goes away, inflation goes away. It becomes easy for everyone to live. But the problem is the difference between the normal guy and the top guy is going to be that my car is green and their car is orange. Okay, and that ego is the reason why we're resisting, because the top guy still wants to have a car that nobody else has. Okay, and I think that we will eventually end up in those utopian societies where we're all a little more equal. Okay, but as you repeatedly said today, it's the path to get there that's going to be painful.
Yeah. Speaking of that path, do you worry about AI's ability to subtly manipulate us, even if it doesn't have ill intention?
100%. So again, I mean, I don't know why I'm so focused on the wrong sides today. The AI so far has been learning from us, and we're the best at manipulation, right? So the problem is it's reflecting back to us all of the shit that we've put out there. Okay, and you really have to understand that the media, whether mainstream or social media, is, I don't want to say full of lies, but it is highly biased to one side of the truth, or to no truth, right? So that basically, if an AI reflects that back to you, don't blame the AI, right? The beauty, however, is that with reasoning, with mathematics, with synthetic training data, with all of that, of those models coming in, with offline models, with open source and so on, what is about to happen is that, how you and I learned relativity is we took the work of Einstein, and then we studied this, and then we did that, and we got it, right? We built on a base of mathematics that we knew from our math teacher and so on. Now, eventually, none of us, if you think about it, has created relativity. We took it from Einstein. But then Niels Bohr takes, Einstein's work and says, no, this is missing this and that. I'm going to work on this. And, and other masters start to do other things. This is the Niels Bohr moment of, Niels Bohr is not following Einstein as big, as impactful, probably more. But it's basically the moment where future AIs will learn from AIs. Okay. And we have very little contribution from now on. Right. And the challenge is the spiral going to continue to go down? Are they going to become more and more and more fake and that becomes the data that populates the internet. So they learn to become more and more and more fake. Okay. Or is there going to be a point at which where they will appreciate absolute truth? Right now, we can influence that, but I don't think to a big extent. I think we can influence that with all of the data that we put out there, like this conversation, okay, with the humility to say, we think these are possibilities. We do not know if they are, so that when the AI reads the transcription of this, they know that they need to verify this. This is not a truth at all, okay? But there is the next cycle. The next cycle doesn't have human data in the loop. Okay. And I think that cycle is going to blow us away, because truly the best scientists that ever created anything did not create it only with IQ or intelligence of some form. They created it with intelligence and former data. Okay. So you take the former data of everything that humanity learned, apply the current levels of intelligence and the endless megaflops of processing power, and see what is about to come. We're not just, which I think a lot of people miss when we discuss the immediate future of AI, we're not just advancing the systems or advancing the knowledge. Okay, so every new code that is written by Claude put out on the internet acts, or on GitHub, acts as a new code that informs Manus. And then every agent that does something with Manus becomes a behavior that is clever enough for every other business agent that's produced by Gemini to work, right? So as we recycle this, hopefully, like with humans, we'll recycle upwards, okay?
Do you think that AI is going to be able to understand the laws of physics?
I hope so. I hope so. I don't see why not, Tom. I really honestly don't see why not. Think about it this way. I started to read quantum physics when I was 8. And then at the time, for my generation, there were no quantum physics for kids, basically. But I couldn't understand the mathematics of it until maybe 12, 13.
Jesus.
Because I
still can't. So you're doing great.
Yeah, it is. It's bypassed me for sure, eventually, right? But there are still humans out there that understand it. Okay.
Yeah, but my base assumption is that we don't understand it. So we have an approximation. So just as Newtonian physics wasn't accurate, but it was useful, Einsteinian physics are useful but not accurate. And what I'm wondering is, will AI ever be able to go beyond pattern recognition and things that we already know and detect patterns in subatomic particles or whatever that allows it to intuit the actual laws of physics?
So the reason why I'm painting this picture is to say the better they become at mathematics, at least they will prove our math. Okay, and understand that for physics, you could be a theoretical physicist where you could actually see the world through the mathematics, and the experiments are another part of the physics, if you want. Okay, so when you really think about it, could they become that math genius that helps us? The trend says they will very soon, right? You can look at things like AlphaFold, or the one from Microsoft that does material design. It's incredible, really. It's better than any scientist in protein folding or in material science. So it's going to happen. Now, will they have the abilities to have the instruments and the machinery to do the tests? And maybe they'll instruct us to do certain tests with certain observations. If intelligence is not a biological bound property, then I don't see why they wouldn't be as intelligent as they need to be to understand all of physics. I did a very interesting conversation. I had a very interesting conversation. I actually published it on Substack this week about consciousness, the nature of consciousness of AI, and in my mind, the differentiating, and I could be completely wrong, but if I'm right, I beg people to help me out. I think the question of AI consciousness, which I don't believe they are yet, but if they ever become conscious at any point in time, I think the overlap, the actual scientific way of detecting that is is if they can collapse the wave function of something that's in superposition, right? Because so I was having the conversation with my AI about the delayed choice experiment, the eraser test, basically, in what is it called? The delayed choice experiment. Where basically, you have particles go through the double slit, and you capture the result on a camera or a detector of some sort, but you delay the choice of will you look at it or not, will you observe it or not. Okay, and if you don't observe it, it's an interference pattern. So if you do observe it, it collapses. It's crazy, right? But here's the interesting thing: when the camera observed it or the detector observed it, which doesn't have any consciousness in it, it actually didn't collapse the wave function. Okay, so the question is, can we ask AI to observe it? Yeah, can we ask AI to observe it? Right? And the moment when AI observe it, it collapses the wave function. That means they have some form of intelligence. Some form of consciousness.
What an interesting way to think about that. That's crazy. That is a test.
So I'm looking among my physicist friends to find someone that can help us run that test, which I think will come out negative for today. They are not conscious. But I think we need to keep running it until they're not a detector, they're not a camera anymore, but they have some form of conscious awareness.
Wow. That has hit me very hard. I need to think about that, look at that. Mo, spending time with you every time gets more incredible. I love that. Thank you so much for taking the time. Where can people follow along with you?
First of all, thank you for listening to all of my crap today. I actually never speak about those things publicly. So,
man, I loved it.
So, I hope that people understand that I'm not right. I'm just sharing with passion what I believe needs to be attended to, and I am absolutely certain that I could be wrong on all that I shared. But I think the main topic is we need to start paying attention. We need the ones that are smarter than me to find the right answers, because this is moving too fast. Where people can find me, mogaudat.com. I'm on Instagram as mo_gaudat. And on YouTube, I think it's Mo Gaudat Official, mo.gaudat.official or something like that. But if you search for Mo Gaudat, I'm, as I told you before we started the conversation, I tend to be on other people's platforms a lot more than I'm on mine. On my Substack, if you want to read alive, go to mogaudat.substack.com and give me feedback on my writing, and it would be wonderful. And thank you for having me. This was intense.
Well, brother, thank you. I really do appreciate it. It was wonderful. Everybody out there, if you have not already, be sure to subscribe. And until next time, my friends, be legendary. Take care. Peace. If you like this conversation, check out this episode to learn more.
I think the AI censorship wars are going to be 1,000 times more intense and 1,000 times more important.
My guest today is someone who doesn't just keep up with innovation, he creates it. The incredible Marc Andreessen. Trust me, when someone like Marc, who spent his entire career betting on the future, says...